Hello, I'm George Kenner, broker associate with Keller Williams Real Estate, serving the greater San Diego area. This is what some of my fellow realtors are starting to call the Scream It from the Mountain series up here on Mount Helix. Today I'm going to interview another realtor, Laura Lothian, a top realtor in this area. She'd also like to address the CEO of PNC Bank and see if she can't get some help with one of her transactions. Now, let's go to my office and interview Laura. We're back. George Kenner and Laura Lothian. Laura Lothian is an Allison James realtor here in La Mesa. And she'd like to make an address, as I mentioned earlier, to James E. Rohr, the CEO of PNC Bank. Now, Laura, I understand you have a transaction that has a first and second trust deed both being handled by PNC Bank, correct?
Yes, I do. I have a transaction that I've been working 8 months. PNC Mortgage holds the first and PNC Bank holds the second. We received short sale approval from both in December. PNC Mortgage said they would pay PNC Bank $3,000. PNC Bank said they wanted $24,000, then $21,000, then $17,000, then $15,000. The last thing they said is they'd take $10,000. We thought we were home free, but there was a $7,000 gap, and no matter how hard we worked, both PNC Mortgage and PNC Bank, we couldn't close it, and the approvals expired. And now here we are months later in the same spot.
So let me understand this. PNC Bank represents both the first and the second, and they're not talking to each other about the amount of money that they'll accept between themselves?
No. We talked to our negotiator at PNC Mortgage, and we talked to our negotiator at PNC Bank. And we keep saying to PNC Mortgage, please up the amount that you're willing to give to PNC Bank, and PNC Bank, please reduce the amount that you're demanding. And we're just not getting there.
Okay. So you told me earlier that if the second trust deed were to accept, if there was a remedy, meaning some money came in from some other point, the first trust deed will not allow the second trust deed to have that money, correct?
Exactly. The buyers have been willing to pay the gap. The realtors have been willing to put their commission toward the gap. Everybody's willing to participate. Like, okay, it's $7,000. Everyone will kick in. Let PNC Bank have their $10,000. But PNC Mortgage says nope. They will not allow PNC Bank to have a penny more than $3,000.
Okay, and you're holding a letter that you've written to all the top people at PNC, correct?
Yes, I did. I sent this a couple of months ago. I'm a journalist. I was an editor-in-chief of a newspaper, and I use writing to get attention from people. I wrote a letter to every vice president and CEO at PNC that I could find off of Google, and I basically said, I go, you know, we have been bogged down in this short sale for 6 months, and we could not get the two PNCs to agree. I felt like we were talking to one bank in one country and one bank in another, and we just couldn't understand why the same bank can't work with each other. And I called it lunacy, and I begged. I begged for help, and I didn't get a single response from a single PNC executive, and that's a first. I also happened to copy the HUD secretary, and that was the only person I heard back from, was a government agency.
I think we've shared with our fellow realtors the difficulty that we're having. Mr. Rohr, I hope you have the ability to intercede. We do need your help here in San Diego. It doesn't make any sense to us that we would even be negotiating between your bank and your bank. How can we even negotiate between your bank and your bank? We'll wait for your answer. And again, if you'll come to San Diego and have that burrito, Laura will join us.
Yes.
Thank you.